Good evening. Welcome to Straight Talk, featuring Greg Middleton. Our talk today is titled, The Media Impact, as we continue our series on political and social consciousness. Here is Greg.
Greetings to each and every one of you. We will continue on with this political and social consciousness series, which covers the topics that I consider to be the cares of life and how we deal with them. So today we will talk about the media impact upon society. Now, I am by no means an expert in anything. This is what I consider to be straight talk. I'm just telling you what I think. Now, in a way, this topic is like the fox guy in the hen house, if you get my drift. What is the role the media plays in our lives today? Firstly, the media has grown exponentially over the past few years in ways that we couldn't imagine just a short time ago. The advancement of technology gives nearly everyone a megaphone. What is most alarming, that common people usually don't distinguish what is fact from truth, half-truth, narratives, lies, fabrications, enticements, commercials, opinions, and the like. They don't know them from one another. The media has a way of coming into our private spaces with what they're selling. We freely let them in, but unless you have a good filter in place, they can sell you things that you don't even know if it's true or not, good for you or not, misleading, helpful, or just a bunch of crap. People will fall for things that you would think they would know better. I guess there is a taker for nearly everything that is offered. Now think about the long-lasting effects of the media. If you believe in lies and base your life around what you hear, what could that possibly lead to? Now, a lot of that is going on in our public arena today. People are divided into camps because of what they have heard. And if you don't do your research, you're liable to fall for anything thinking that it is true. Weasels are counting on that. Most of them know that they're pushing lies, but as long as there's a market for it, they continue until people become aware that they are buying lies. Some know it and still continue to accept the lie. Go figure. We previously spoke about the role our publicans play in society by way of misleading people. The nature of politics is very suspect these days. Because of the media influences, we really don't know what to believe. Big media conglomerates are so large and powerful that they can sway millions of people down dark and scary rabbit holes.
There's been a lot of buzz about this fake news. You were the subject of a fake news story.
Oh yeah, what'd they say? I was running for president? No, I voted. No, what'd they say?
You switched your support.
I switched,
yeah.
What
do you make of all the fake news and it affects
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's the great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
You told me last time.
Okay. But you heard me? Does that make sense?
Take Fox News, for example. Now, without judging their intent, they clearly oppose so many of the standard media giants promoting opposite messages regarding political stances. Now, if CNN go toe-to-toe with Fox News, you'll get contradicting opinions regarding political matters. Now, who is right and who is wrong? We know both can be right, but how does John Q. Public know the difference? And the odd thing is that commentators know that they're promoting lies, but if it boosts their rating, they don't care nothing about the people they mislead. Now, I'm not saying that this applies to all of them equally.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Yeah. Nothing says we value independent media like dozens of reporters forced to repeat the same message over and over again.
But it certainly feels like the fox is guarding the hen house. Now, another aspect of the media is that most reporters are trying to find that big scoop so they can push something out claiming that it's not been yet independently confirmed what they're about to broadcast. However, the scoop was so hot that they wanted to be the first to get it to the public. It matters not if it proves to be just an opinion of someone. They can just blame it on the source. And do they ever come back and say, sorry, we were wrong? They claim to be neutral and unbiased in their broadcasting. But we know that's not always the case. Their company has owners and board members that set standards that they are not always good for the public's interest. They have buildings full of attorneys that know how to keep them from being sued. And if they are sued, they have enough money to pay the damage and move on to the next hot topic. Now, was the public injured because of them? They call that good journalism. And we, the public, are left in the dust, not knowing who or what to believe. Now, to top it off, there was once a clear line between God and government, between state and religion. That has to be a joke these days. Networks are allowed to promote certain religions overtly, but they clearly have opinions as to which one they lean toward or against. Now, since we live in predominantly a Christian nation, Christianity is the major influence of most of their philosophies, while they tend to put the other ones down. Will be for me. Our ex-president tried to ban people from Muslim nation from coming to this country. That was the president of the United States of America. Now, what role did the media play in covering his tweets that this man did for years while he was our elected president?
And sometimes, especially in this body, I feel as though if Christ himself walked through these doors and said what he said thousands of years ago, that we should love our neighbor and our enemy, that we should welcome the stranger, fight for the least of us, that it is easier for a rich man, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into a kingdom of heaven, he would be maligned as a radical and rejected from these doors. And I know, and it is part of my faith, that all people are holy, and all people are sacred, unconditionally. And that is what makes faith sometimes, that's what prompts us to transform, because it is unconditional. It's not about that it is up to us to love parts of people. We love all people.
Again, how does John Q. and Jane P. Public know how to filter what they hear from the media? I know they have rules to follow, but who polices the media? Is it the government? Well, who polices the government? Is it the media? Well, where does that leave the public? Now, as of late, I find myself hooked on media from a whole bunch of resources. The internet is one source that is very hard to police. Anyone can post almost anything they want and no one be the wiser. I post frequently, but who am I? I'm a nobody. Now, there are ordinary people who blog and podcast media with huge followings, like what our ex-president did with his Twitter account. Look at the role Facebook is playing today in promoting lies. Again, who protects the public from being harmed or being misled down devious pathways by media outlets? If you do not have a set of morals and values, you don't have anyone to police things for you. Now, this is a good reason to teach your children in the ways they should go while they're young. So at least they'll have some measure to judge what they're hearing from these media outlets. But who's going to teach the teachers? So where am I going with this topic except for asking a ton of questions that I have no real answers? It's not about where I'm going with this topic, but about where you need to go and what you need to do to protect yourself from being screwed by these media outlets. There are so many wolves parading in sheep's clothing that you really don't know who to trust these days. Now for me, I am the Lord is my kind, but we don't worship the same Lord, not all of us. Some are actually devil worshippers. Now, needless to say, we wouldn't be on the same page, but they are free to worship as they like, according to our Maker, and they probably got a media platform. Each of us has free will to choose what we wish to choose. However, all choices have consequences. But you wonder, at the corporate level, such as these huge media outlets, how do that get policed? Now, corporations make large decisions that impact the lives of countless people. But who do we blame when they make mistakes? Surely we cannot hold these very rich CEOs accountable for misleading the people. They do what they do for the greed of money. Now, is there a higher authority that can access blame where it really should lie? Well, yeah. Now, clearly, I don't have answers here to all these many questions I propose to you. But I do know that we should not place our reliance upon the multiple arms of the media. Though it is good to be made aware of things going on that impacts you in your orbit, don't place your faith and trust in the media. I would promote putting your trust and faith in the God that you serve, rather than the media at any level. Place God first and then surround yourself with reliable resources to gather facts, knowledge, and most of all, truth. Our faith should be on a straight line regardless as to what the media promotes. They are in it to sell their brand of news just to attract more viewers. Some do what they do well, but you still can't rely upon them for teaching you great morals and great behavior. That's not what they do. Yet, so many of us are hooked on the media, including moi. So much so that we are swayed in how we think and how we view matters of life. The media tells us what to think. And look at us. We just accept what they tell us. Now, who is your gatekeeper? In whom or what do you place your reliance? As for me, it's surely not the multiple and long, deep arms of the media. Now, the media also includes entertainment venues. They make us laugh, cry, feel good, feel bad, aroused, and on and on. Media is not bad within itself, but we must instill filters that protect us from falling for anything they're selling. We must pull the needles out of our veins so they can stop shooting it directly into our hearts and minds. Now, for me, my gatekeeper is God, and more specifically, I'm a follower of Christ. You may have another one that you rely upon, but I certainly would encourage that you not attach your beliefs upon what the media promotes. It is though we have been mesmerized. We have been bamboozled. We could be hooked on the airways being led to the slaughterhouse and not even know it. As I contemplate writing about this subject, The Spirit was filling me with something so large that I could not even comprehend it. It was something so wrong about how most of us just puppets on the big lies that the powerful moguls are promoting. It is as though a handful of giants control the media and tell what the smaller fishes what they are allowed to do. Now, at the very top, I don't see God sitting up there in the top seat. Now, if the rich and powerful are sitting in the highest seats in the land, then are we being fed good moral values? Or are we being fed what makes them more wealthy? Now, we need to step back a bit and make an assessment as to which wolf we're going to feed. We need to develop a trustworthy gatekeeper that guides ourselves through this world of woe. I don't know about you, but I have found such a gatekeeper that guides my steps, one of which I am fully hooked. I can't tell you what you must choose, but again, please don't let it be the long and deep arms of the media, because overall, they don't always have your best interests in mind. This topic is certainly not criticism of all the media. Many are good journalists who are just trying to keep us well informed as to what's going on in our world. Some are great entertainers who make us laugh, cry, weep, or mourn. Some want to pick up our spirit, and some wish us to take us down into the deepest crevices of evil. You need a gatekeeper to help you meander through all of this. If you don't know what you don't know, then find somebody that can assist you in finding the light of truth. You can't go wrong ultimately once you walk the straight line of truth. You might not be the most popular or the richest, but you can know the truth is the best of the available choices. God made all existence based upon truth, not lies. My suggestion would be to trust in He who made you. But that could be a rather tall order, especially if you don't believe in such things. Now, I started my quest by searching for such a resource, and I'm happy to say that I found what I was seeking. The only problem is that I can't share with you what I found, because you won't believe it until you find it for yourself. Otherwise, I'm just another media trying to promote something that you may or may not believe, something that may or may not be good for you. However, what I can say, that once you seek, you will find something. Why don't you just step into the light of truth and let it lead you to what comes next? I can promise you that at the end of the tunnel where truth shines, you will find He who sits at the top of all existence. He'll be there waiting on you with open arms. To Almighty God be the glory. Hallelujah. Selah.